Hi everybody, welcome to the junk room where we create whatever. In this video, I try my hand at something different, an experiment actually, and I had no idea how it was going to turn out. I watched a video on Froyle Art's channel. Her name is Froyle. Her channel is Froyle Art, and she does lots of mixed media and tutorials and gel printing, and just has a fabulous exuberant presence about her. And I watched her video and I thought, that's something I want to try to do. Now, she did warn that it was messy. She did warn that you would need a large space for drying, and there was a scent to this experiment. Okay, well, I'm scent sensitive, but I thought, you know, I could handle it, right? Citrus smell, she said it smelled like, but citrus, I think I could handle. Well, I learned a few things in this experiment that I thought I would share. When I watch YouTube videos, most YouTubers in the junk journaling world anyways, say go out and try it. Just try it. Use what you have. Try different things and just experiment. Well, Froyle said that there's nothing else that works except the Citrasolve concentrate and the National Geographic magazine. She's tried it with different solvents and she's tried it with different magazines. So something about the National Geographics mixing with the Citrasolve concentrate come together and do this amazing chemistry reaction. And it was fascinating. So I got myself some Citrasolve, which was challenging. I'm in Canada, and in St. Thomas here, I could not find it in any stores. And it might be in London, I don't know, but I checked some online stores in London, and no, they didn't have any. They have Citrasolve, but not the concentrate, and that is very important. I got it on Amazon. Now, when it came, the bottle was full, and it was yellow. It is now empty because the experiment is done. When she said there was a smell to it, that was an understatement. Okay, it is very, very strong. Just warning you, if you have allergies, I ended up with a migraine because of the smell. But part of it too was my own fault. Citrasolve concentrate and National Geographics. This was 40 bucks. So when I got it, I just hoarded it for a little while because I'm like, wow, what if I do this and it doesn't work? That's a lot of liquid money being poured out. So taking some of those tips under advisement, I went outside. That's a great space, right? To be outside with, you know, you can just let the smell do its thing. And I thought this would be a great idea. I had no idea what I was doing. I really didn't know what I was doing. And so the first National Geographic that I did, I ended up using way too much Citrasolve. So when you're watching it and you see me just going like this, you're going to be like, whoa, whoa, that's enough. Even if you've never done this, you're going to go like, wow, that's a lot. And it was too much. And what it did was it just turned everything black. Got a lot of dark stuff happening. The other thing was gloves. You need gloves. The ink is coming off and doing this really cool stuff, but it does stain your fingers. It's important to wear gloves, especially if you have sensitive skin. I'm outside, I've got my gloves on, and I've covered the picnic table a little bit, and you will see me just going to town. So I did 3, no, that's 6. I did 3 magazines, National Geographics. The first one, you'll see, I used way too much solvent because I had no idea what I was doing. And I apologize ahead of time for the poor video recording. I'm just going to put it up. I'm not going to edit it or anything. It's in the raw. I was trying to do this while holding the camera in my hand, so some of it didn't turn out too well video-wise, but you'll get the idea as I go along. The second one, I used a little bit less, and then the third one, I got halfway through and I was out of Citrasolve. So I don't really know how much you can do with one little bottle. This is 8 ounce or 236 milliliters. I should have watched the videos to refresh my memory, but I didn't. I thought I knew what I was doing, and I just went to town. She said in her video to give it about 20 minutes to do this reaction thing. I left it outside. The other thing that I did that probably wasn't a good idea was I picked the hottest day to date. It was sweltering and no breeze at all. I am sweating, but I'm determined to make this work. After 20 minutes, I go back outside to the picnic area and I start to peek and I'm like, ooh, ah. And then I'm like, it's just black. Ugh. Foil said that as it starts to do its reaction, that you take them out after the 20 minutes or so, take them out and lay them flat to dry. At work, we have a great big multi-purpose room, and so I laid out some plastic tablecloths. I started with one, ended up with 3, because you get a lot of pages. She said you get a lot of pages from one National Geographic, but why do one when you can do 3? Because I have a whole box of them. Oh dear. And I thought I wanted to do this with the youth, but I always experiment and try things and learn things before I present them to the youth, and it's a good thing I did. I bring the magazines in. Now remember, it's sweltering hot out. We're in a building that does not have much air circulation, even with AC, but I didn't realize that the AC had been turned off because now we have window ones in our office area. So the big one for the building was turned off, so there was no air movement at all. And I'm standing there trying to pull these pages apart, and I am just dripping. I'm drenched with sweat. And then I notice how drenched these magazines are. Like, okay, I'll leave it for a little bit longer. So I pulled out a couple, and then I'm like, I gotta leave this a little bit longer. I went back, did some stuff at my desk, came back, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's just pooling black. Oh, I don't think this is working too well, so I left it a little bit longer. I think in all I left it about an hour, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta start pulling them out of the magazine. So I got some paper towel, and for the first magazine that I did, I just started to mop up the Citrasolve, which was just like floating on top of the magazine, which created a whole other effect. So I've got some interesting prints, to say the least. I did underestimate the powerful smell. I did this on a Thursday morning. Thursday night was junk journaling with the high school crew, and it was so heavy I could taste it, and I could feel the headache coming. Friday, I didn't go into the office. I had a migraine, and so I stayed away, and then had to go water the plants Saturday night, and went in the building, and it is still smelling so bad. So I'm like, oh no. Don't use as much as me. And make sure you're in a well ventilated area. If I do this again, I'm not sure I will, but if I do, I will make sure it's the fall season where there's going to be cooler temperatures. Got 3 tablecloths laid out, and this stuff is drying and just saturating the air with this heavy scent. But some of it turned out to be pretty cool. So then I went back and watched the videos, and I'm like, how come I don't remember a paintbrush? And that she put it in a cup and then just painted with a paintbrush. And I watched a couple other videos that did the Citrasolve with the National Geographic magazine, and again, there was a paintbrush there, and I'm like, I didn't see that. I learned a lot. The kids thought it was really cool when they came in to see the pages drying. I might attempt it. $40 though, I'm not too sure. But it was a great learning experience, an experiment, and the pages, they still have the scent. Let me grab one. So this is a National Geographic page with the Citrasolve, and the neat thing is that it works on both sides. It does different things on each side. It is really fascinating. So this is one where I went in and I just had to take some of it off, and so it's got a little bit of a smear and bubbles, but this one's orange, but on the back side it's greeny blue and black, again where I had to take some of the Citrasolve off. They still really smell. I'm hoping with time that will fade. I wondered if after they were dry, if any ink would come off the pages, and so far it hasn't. Once they're dry, it doesn't come off, and they're very smooth pages. A little bit of a reflection in them, that gloss, but it's a magazine, so most magazines have a glossy. But these are gonna make really great additions to the junk journals. And the beautiful thing is that something's on both sides, so it's a double page. Yes, most of them are back, but some of them turned out. This one's all orange. And the key, I think, was the one that I started with. So this is purples and blues. My light's giving you a reflection. And then on the back, I didn't do that. It just did itself after I had mopped up the other pages, but it's really neat. Key is that to pick the National Geographics that have the most color in it. Third one I used was a lot of text, not as much colors. Again, that's why I probably got a lot more darker ones, but it'll still work. You can use them not just for junk journal pages, but collages, backgrounds, journal cards. I would not recommend you putting them in scrapbooks because of the acid. Being the first time that I've ever tried this, I would say it was fairly successful. I got some really interesting pages to work with. I know what I'm going to do differently next time. And so overall, I think it was a great experiment with most interesting results. Before I show you more of these interesting pages, just want to share Sophia's favorite verse. She watches my channel, and her favorite verse is, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him will not perish, but have everlasting life." And that's John 3:16. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let you watch the experiment unfold with no editing, nothing. It's just me trying to do this experiment one-handed and watching the process along at different stages. And then at the end, I will just do not really a flip through, but yeah, a flip through where I'll just show you each page that turned out, because they are really cool. So if you have done this experiment with Citrasolve, Concentrate, and National Geographics, I'd be interested in knowing how it worked for you, what tips you might have, what you learned from this experiment, and if you would do it again. All you need is a bottle of Citrasolve Concentrate and National Geographics, and you got yourself a great experiment. brought them inside. It's all gone. Tried to get 3 magazines, National Geographics, out of one bottle, as this is super expensive. Waited 20 minutes. So we're just going to take a peek inside to see if anything is dissolving. It's very warm in here, so. Ooh, look at that. Okay, so I can pull some of, I can pull some of this out to let it dry. Ooh, so I've got a big table here at work. This magazine had the most color in it. Ooh, maybe too much. Citrasolve. Uh-oh. Oh. Okay. So I'm going to lay out the ones that have started. This might have been too much. Not enough. I don't know. We'll leave that. Okay. And I don't know if doing it outside in the heat has anything to do with it. I don't know if the heat in the building has anything to do with it. Totally experimental. So I'll pull some out. So I pulled these ones out. Sorry about the glare. So it's starting to, so I'm gonna wait another 10 minutes and see if that makes a difference. Let's take a peek now. I'm gonna say I probably used too much. Oh dear. Okay, note to self, I'm gonna pull some of these out.